Would your offender please introduce yourself and give your Department of Corrections ID?
My name is Cedric Jackson, 528515.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Let me pull up your information and we're going to get started, but let me explain the process to you. I'm going to read some information to put it in the record. We're going to verify that information. Then we'll give Warden Washington a chance to make remarks, or one of the other wardens if they'd like to make some remarks and observations. And then you have guests in the hearing room, and they will be allowed to make statements on your behalf. Before we vote, we will give you a chance to make a brief statement on your behalf. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jackson, you are currently 51 years old. You are a third felony offender. Your offenses are, all three of them are in East Baton Rouge Parish. And on April 25th, 2008, you were convicted and sentenced for possession with intent to distribute cocaine, and you received a 25-year sentence. Another count of possession with intent, possession of cocaine, and you were billed as an habitual offender, and you were sentenced to 25 years. And then another possession of cocaine that you were sentenced on March 16, 2009, and you received a 3-year sentence. That sentence was to run consecutive to the other two sentences, so your total sentence is 28 years. Your parole date was September 12, 2013. Your adjusted good time date, August 17, 2031, and your full term date, September 9, 2023. Is all that information correct?
Yes, sir.
All that information is correct. So I'm going to recognize your guest in the hearing room. With the lady in the black jacket, introduce yourself and give your relationship to the offender. You can keep your seat.
Cedric Jackson, the daughter of Cedric Jackson.
Okay.
My name is Douglas Walker General. I'm consultant.
Okay. Young lady that's sitting down. Would you give me your name?
It's John. I'm from, I said Veronica Jackson, and I'm his sister.
Okay. Ready?
Thor Wheeler. City.
Your mother?
Smothers. Friend.
Okay. Okay. Young lady next to you.
City.
Okay. And young man?
Mark Jackson, his brother.
Okay. So we have your mother, your daughter, a friend, and
Uncle.
an uncle, okay? And your Diane Harris will be speaking, and it's
Purity Jackson.
Kieran Jackson. Your daughter will be speaking. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And at the very end, you will be allowed to make a statement before we vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
Your case has been assigned to Mr. Freeman. Would you please answer Mr. Freeman's questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Jackson.
Good morning.
How long have you served on this charge?
15 years and about 20 days. 11 days, 15 years and 11 days.
Okay. And what's your educational level?
I have a GED.
Okay, did you get that while you were in prison?
Yes, sir. But LTI, a juvenile facility.
Okay, okay, good. And you're 51 years old, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Most of your offenses are drug offenses. Were you a drug user or a drug dealer or both?
I just sold drugs.
Okay, did you ever use drugs?
No, sir.
Okay, never in your life did you use it.
No, sir. I tried marijuana when I was younger. But no,
All
sir.
right. Let's just make sure we are clear, you know, just tell me the truth today, okay? Because that's gonna
Yes,
have a
sir.
lot of my decision.
Okay.
Okay, so you said you just sold drugs, you didn't use them. What's the largest amount you think you ever sold?
Probably a couple ounces at a time.
Couple ounces at a time.
Yes,
What's
sir.
that on today? What you used to make on a couple ounces?
But back then, when I was selling drugs, I was selling them for like $500 a piece.
Pretty good little business, okay? And you had a cookhouse, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you think that did to your victims on the street? What if somebody sold drugs to your daughters? I see you have two of them in support of you today. How would that make you feel?
Well, I try to read them right and give them the right directions as they growing up. But it'll make me feel bad. But at the end of the day, I would hope they wouldn't do it. But that, you know, they have their own decisions to make.
Okay, while you were in prison, I mean, you have federal charges too, right? You have a detainer on you?
Yes, sir.
I think you got a 5 years federal prison and then 3 years probation. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So when you leave here, you'll be going, get signed up and do some federal time.
Yes, sir. I have like 2.5 years left on that.
That's on the federal charges, okay?
Yes, sir.
Your arrest record, it dates back good ways. I think you were 19 years old when you first got arrested. Is that around correct? Do you think that's about how old you were?
As an adult, yes, sir.
Okay. What were you arrested for as a juvenile?
Armed robbery.
Okay, and what you did on that stayed in till you was 18 years old?
I had till I was 21, but I went, I did an AWOL when I was like 19, and they caught me like a few months later, and I went back and did the rest of the sentence till I was 20 and a half years old.
So how long was that sentence?
I stayed more than roughly probably about 4 years altogether.
4 years in juvenile.
Yes, sir.
So you spent 4 years in juvenile, you did spend 15 and a half in adult. How much of your total lifetime you think you spent in prison?
Probably over 20-some years. It's been a long time, sir.
Okay, I mean, tell me, why should I let you out? I mean, are you getting tired of all of this?
I'm tired. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm ready to come out and be a productive citizen in society, raise my grandkids to try to keep them out of this situation that I put myself into.
Okay, I see you had a lot of battery charges. Have you ever taken anger management?
Yes, sir.
What did that teach you?
It taught me to think, slow down, and assess the situation before you react. And think for both participants that's in the situation. And that way you could always avoid trouble. You think the situation out, and you can talk it out, depending on the attitude, and have a decent conversation instead of being aggressive all the time.
When was your last parole hearing? In 2018?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And what classes have you taken since that last parole hearing?
Well, I took living in balance, anger management, and 100 hours.
And you took inside out dads also?
No, sir. I took a class called Malachi Dads. I never
Malachi.
took inside. Yes, sir.
That's my fault. Okay, you have 4 children, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you have contact with all your children?
Yes, sir.
Okay, about how often y'all speak? Or they visit?
Well, I ain't visited since
Wow.
I haven't had a visit since the pandemic. Since they left the ban on that pandemic, but I talk to them pretty often, all 4 of them.
Okay. All right. What's gonna be your transition plan? Where you gonna live? What you gonna do after you get finished with the feds?
Well, I'm planning to go live with my sister. And I have a job with a roofing company. I'm gonna do that until I get myself together. And I'm working on getting my Quicks card and go back to OSHA and try to get back in the plant and get back to doing iron work in the construction field.
Ironwork's a good field, I can tell you that much. Make some good money. And you say you don't need a sobriety plan. You never used drugs. Have you used alcohol?
I drank alcohol before. Yes, sir. It wasn't like no everyday thing or nothing.
So you don't consider yourself a drug addict or an alcoholic?
No, sir.
You've had 15 write-ups, you're medium custody. Your risk needs is low. When was your last write-up?
In 2021,
And what was that for?
cell phone.
Okay, when was your last one before that?
In 2020,
That was for a cell phone also, correct?
yes, sir.
But it means you've been approximately almost 2 years without a write-up. Okay, Ward, what can you tell me about Mr. Jackson?
Yes, sir. Jackson and I spoke on just on Monday. Had a pretty good conversation. He's doing pretty good down the walk. He's contributing to the population. Currently now he holds a job as being a painter inside the dormitory. He's doing pretty good. We're helping get some housing units look pretty good around here. But I also suggested to him that you need to get as many self-help classes as possible to prepare him for going out to society. And that's pretty much what I suggested to him the other day. Besides that, he's doing pretty good.
Okay, any particular self-help classes you think he needs more than time?
Not really. I really believe that he need to get as many substance abuse classes as possible. He say he wasn't actually a user, but I just believe that's to help prepare him just in case he have to go back into society.
I kind of agree with that. Okay, I have no further questions, Mr. Roche.
I have a question. Mr. Jackson, I was on your panel in 2018, and I'm looking at the write-up that you had since then. And in 2018, that was the main reason. So help me understand your motivation for having a cell phone in 20 and 21. What was going on?
I ain't gonna lie to you, they're addictive. Once you get one of them in your hand, being in prison, it's like it's hard to let go. You got to put it in your mind and in your heart to really just let it go. But I ain't gonna lie, it's addictive.
Okay.
It's addictive.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yes, ma'am.
But and when you were on parole, committed this offense, you on federal parole when you committed this state offense? Were you
No, ma'am. I was off of federal parole.
off federal parole?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay, all right. So what is it gonna take?
Well, I had to make my mind up.
Let me say that we would like to see you demonstrating, you don't like the rules, I don't like all the rules that I follow, you don't like them, or you just don't. But you gotta follow them because you're trying to get somewhere to this beautiful family. So help me understand, what is it gonna take?
Well, I had to make my mind up and just let it go. There come a point in time in your life where either you're gonna do right or you're gonna do wrong. I'm tired of doing wrong because every time I end up in the same situation. And I realized that and I came to my senses. If I keep on doing the same thing, I'm gonna get the same results. I'm tired of getting the same results. I lost my mother in prison and my grandmother. So I'm tired.
So you got tired after the November 21 write-up? Is that what you're telling me?
No, man, I ain't gonna lie to you about that. I was tired before then, but like I say, that cell phone was just addicted to me. I was tired of getting in trouble doing the wrong thing. And I knew that cell phone, having that cell phone was wrong. But I still possessed it because I was kind of addicted to that. I done let that go now. I done been over that. Like I had a chance to get another one and I didn't do it.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that, because you're looking at the big picture now. You're looking at
Yes,
the bigger.
ma'am.
So tell me 3 reasons off the top of your head why I should vote to let you out.
I'm ready, ma'am. I'm ready. I'm ready to
One,
go
what's the other?
outside. Ma'am,
I said, that's one. What's the other 2?
man, it's hard to come up with another one. I just know I'm ready. I ain't gonna lie to you about that. I'm ready. I can't come up with 3, but I can come up with 1.
Okay, if it comes up during the hearing, just kind of raise your finger and we'll get to you. Okay, if you come up with 2 other reasons why I should vote for you, just kind of raise your finger and then they'll let me know that we'll come back to that question.
Yes, ma'am.
That's all I had, Jim.
Mr. Jackson. I was on your 218 panel. You remember?
No, sir.
I was on a panel of 218 and you got denied because you had a 30 seat. You had a write-up.
Yes, sir.
And you were eligible in 2019 and 2020, but you couldn't apply. You had another write-up in 2020. And I'm looking at document right here that you were approved for a hearing on November 19, 2021 by Mrs. Wise, myself, and Mr. Marabella. The hearing didn't happen because you had another write-up.
Yes, sir.
You could have had a hearing in early 2022, but you had a write-up at the end of 2021. I got a problem with all those write-ups. And you've only served what? You said 15 years?
Yes, sir.
You continuously get write-ups. You don't have that many programs. I think you need to take I think it's called Drug Dealers Anonymous.
I took that.
You took that already, okay. Now, I have another problem. Mr. Freeman asked you, were you a drug dealer or drug user? And you proudly said, I was a drug dealer. I've never used drugs. Why deal drugs and cause a misery on other people's lives, and you know from the beginning that drugs are bad for you? Why would you deal drugs causing other people and other people's family misery and getting them addicted and causing them problems in their lives when you know it's bad to use drugs?
I never looked at it like that, sir. I just was trying to get the money. I never looked at the problems I was causing. I was just looking for the money.
But you end up sense not to use drugs.
I tried using marijuana before. I ain't like the way it felt, so I ain't tried that else. And I apologize to the people that I hurt and the
You
community.
told Mr. Freeman you never used drugs.
Said I tried marijuana when I was younger.
Didn't tell Mr. Freeman that.
That's what I told him, sir.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed that. I missed that. So you tried it once and you didn't like it.
No, sir.
Why? What effect did it have on you?
Made me paranoid.
But you sold it after that, didn't you?
I tried, yes, sir. I sold it.
Okay, okay. All right. And I agree with the warden. I really agree with the warden. You need to take some more programs. You are a career criminal. You've been in and out of incarceration most of your life, starting when you were a juvenile. And you need to take as many programs as possible. So when you get out, you can stay out. As Ms. Wise said, you have a lovely family. And a family that supports you. And you keep on letting them down. It's about time to think about your family and not yourself. You tired?
Tired, sir. You're right. I agree with you.
You have two lovely daughters who need their daddy. You have an uncle that would mentor you and help you with your problem. All you gotta do is extend your hand and say, I need help. Okay. Ms. Harris, the mother of the child, would you like to speak? Would you go up to the podium? Give your full name and your relationship to the offender. Okay.
Speak up here. Speak up a little bit.
Yeah, we can't want to hear you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, just talk a little
Talk a little
louder,
bit
that's all.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all wanna ask me something?
No, just give us your statement. Sir. We're going. That's your statement.
I feel like Cedric should be given another chance because at the end of the day, he's a very good person. I know you asked him, like, why was he selling the drugs or whatever? He didn't state, but he took care of the family the best way that he could. He's always helped people, you know what I'm saying? Like he has a good heart. He may have done the wrong things, but I think that right now I've known him for a long time and I feel like he's changed because his conversation is different. It's just a lot. Like I was 8 months pregnant when he went to jail and my daughter is about 15 years old. She's an honest student and like we go through a lot and communicates with her through the phone. And he's still an inspiration to her, even though he's done all these things. I think that people make mistakes, because I too make mistakes, but I just thank God for reminding Mary in jail. It's just a lot. She's graduating in 2025, and just need, another chance, like just to be forgiven and to have another chance.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Thank you so much. Ms. Jackson, the daughter. Give us your full name and your relationship to the offender.
My name is Cedric Jackson. I am the guard at Jackson. I am a 28-year-old social worker for the state of Louisiana. I help the state most mentally ill patients who were addicted to drugs, who had mental illness. So I'm going to read a statement on this and that. And I do with public speaking versus advocating and treating for those patients. So despite my father's significant transgression, I believe Cedric has matured and will be a productive law-abiding citizen upon his release. He feels a great deal of shame and responsibility for his conduct. I believe he has realized how detrimental his choices have been, and I'm convinced he's in a very emotional state. While incarcerated, Cedric has participated in numerous courses. We've had talks, and I have voiced to Cedric the things I see today in people who are addicted to drug use and the effect it may cause on a person and his family. So I believe, and I realize that he will be supported upon his release if he's given parole during this meeting to help him re-enter to society. He has a job lined up as a laborer for a roofing company. He has transportation and a supportive family. Finally, I would like to say, I believe he has changed and he should be given another chance at freedom. His commitment and personal development have been evident to us, and I hope to you as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, young lady. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you can. Just give us your name and your relationship.
Parole. And Diana is my brother. And I just want to say I thank God for a second chance. How God has given each and every one of us a second chance in life. We all have done something wrong in this life. And the God that we serve gave us a second chance. And all I want to say to the parole board, if you can give Cedric Jackson a second chance, I promise you that God will take care of him with the guidance of the church. God will take care of him. Amen. Thank you.
Mr. Jackson, would you like to make a brief closing statement?
Yes, sir. I know I have been a role model inmate in prison, and I haven't been the father that I should have been when I was on the street. But during this incarceration, I've seen and heard a lot of things, and I've made changes for myself, and I try to help the youth that's coming into the prison, so they won't make the same mistakes that I made in prison. I don't regret that I came to prison, but I regret that I didn't take the time to educate myself more when I first came to prison to take advantage of what was placed, why I was placed in here. I never thought about why I was placed in prison until I laid back and realized why I was placed in prison. And that was to become a better person and to get out and be a better person in society.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Well stated. Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, first off, I want to thank the family for showing up and speaking on his behalf. It always helps us a lot to know that he's going to have support in the community when he gets out. It gives that chance to go way up of making it. You know, Mr. Jackson, I look at your case, and I'm going to tell you, you know, I was in law enforcement 35 years, probation and parole, so I've dealt with a lot of people. I hadn't seen many people that sold drugs that didn't use them. You may be that one in a million, but I'm just telling you, Hadn't seen people that sold drugs in the quantity you were selling it that didn't try to use. So this is what I'm gonna do with you. I do think you're tired. And I'm gonna take a chance on you, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grant you parole conditional on you going to Steve Hall. I know you say you don't have a drug treatment, a drug problem, but even if you don't have a drug problem, you can go there and see what you're selling has done to other people. You know, you can listen to their stories. You can see that the harm it causes to sell drugs out there, especially these days with people dying right and left with them being laced with stuff they shouldn't be laced for. And then you'll be returned to the feds to do your time there. So that's my vote today to grant conditional on completing Steve.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Ms. Wise.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Jackson, you brought your A game today. You really brought your A game, because when I was reading this last night, I had no idea I'll be saying what I'm saying. I'm gonna grant, I concur with Mr. Freeman, I'm gonna grant conditionally upon you completing the Steve Hall. You sit on the front row, you pay attention. You got 4 kids, you got grandkids coming. You're gonna need that information. And like you said, to help the young people, you're gonna need that information. And after you complete that, I want you to follow the recommendations of that facility, of Steve Hall. They're gonna give you some cheaper recommendations, follow them. And then I want you to do some community service working with young people, like you had suggested. You got a lot of, share your testimony, most of yours for work with the seniors and the young people. Do both, most of yours, do some painting around their houses, at least 8 hours a month. One thing I know about drug dealing, you kept long hours. So 8 hours a month shouldn't be a problem for you to do community service. And that's started 3 months after your release. Again, it's because of your family. You put love on these people. For me, you put love on them for me.
Please.
And that's my vote, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Wise. Mr. Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Jackson. I really think you're tired. So I'm going to vote with my colleagues and give you a chance. You'll be transferred to Bossier Minimum, and you must complete the long-term Steve Hall Intensive Substance Abuse Program. Within that program, you'll have anger management, threatening families. There'll be a series of programs, living in balance. And you sit on the first row, as Ms. Wise said, and see the devastation and destruction that you were putting on your community and the people in your community. After completing the Steve Hall program, I'm going to release you to your federal detainer. And that will be left up to the Federal Prison Bureau to come and get you, and they will have jurisdiction on the 2.5 sentence that you have left in the federal system. We have a curfew when you release from the federal prison from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. You must follow all recommendations of the Steve Hall program. You are to do community service at 8 hours a month. Get with your parole officer, and he can line up people that need help painting houses, building ramps, whatever it is. I want you to give back to that community that you helped destroy with your drug.
And community service began 3 months after release.
And I want you to attend it. Well, that will be live up to Steve Hall. So basically, you have curfew from 96. Follow our recommendations of Steve Hall and 8 hours of community service. That is our decision. We have been granted for completion of the Steve Hall program, and you have been granted to your federal detainer. You have a good day.
Thank you.